All right. Well, we're right here at the top of the hour. We're giving it just a few seconds, guys, as people continue to roll on. We are super excited that so many have come out tonight. We are pumped up about this
So, Paul, why
DIY
don't you tell
marketing
them a little
success.
bit? Why don't you tell them, the folks that don't know you, tell them a little bit about you, tell them a little bit about us, tell them a little bit about how we work together and what brought this about.
Well, my life was just going really
Stop that.
smooth.
Start fast forward 40 years till you met me.
No, that was where I was starting. It was going really smooth, and I met Carrie.
My life was
Carrie
quiet, smooth.
We've worked together for the last handful of years. It seems like we've known each other our whole lives, so we really love each other and love our families. We're getting to do a lot of great stuff together as families and also as partners in business. My background is in ministry and in business as well. I opened my first business at the age of 20. And basically, when people say, what is it that you do? Nobody really knows what it is. So I end up just telling people I get paid to talk. And so I've always loved training. I've always loved helping people discover what it is that they need to be doing, how they need to be doing it, and certainly to be profitable in the same respect. And then Carrie and I have partnered up on so many different ventures, but DIY Marketing Success has been the one that we probably enjoyed the most because it just allows you to go step by step through so many elements of your business and really do extremely well. Carrie, on the other hand, has just been a tornado of success the last few years online. She's not really been online that long. Tell us a little bit about that, sister.
I started online August 27th, 2007. I had a 10-week-old newborn. She is my fourth of four children. My kids are now 16, 14, 7, and 4, and I work at home full-time. My husband works at home full-time with me. I made him an offer he could not refuse, and so he left the corporate world to work with me here at home. And so we have the privilege of really having an amazing life, working with people we love, doing things we love. Paul and I met at a mastermind meeting, and the rest, as they say, is history. I was just thinking about this the other day, brother. A lot of y'all know I'm a preacher's daughter. And when I was dating and thinking that, in the next few years I was going to meet my spouse, I made a list. A lot of you have heard me talk about the list because I carried it around with me everywhere. The list of the things on the left-hand side, the must-have qualities in my spouse. And then on the right-hand side, the non-negotiable things I would not put up with. And on that non-negotiable side, on the must-have side, it was things like musical, from a like-minded family, from somebody that was really devoted to their faith, and that was a priority. On the non-negotiable, cannot deal with side was, Lord, please, I do not want to marry a preacher. I am certainly not fit to be a preacher's wife. So the Lord, in his infinite wisdom and his extreme sense of humor, sent me a preacher's son that I have married, and then my best friend is a minister. So there you go. That's just that. So the Barefoot Executive, we do training and business growth. I'm a strategist and consultant. I do some training. I do podcast videos, online mentoring. And really, we've kind of blown it up in the last 4 years. I also am the proud author of a relatively new hardback business book called The Barefoot Executive, The Ultimate Guide to Obtaining Financial Freedom and Being Your Own Boss, available on audio, Kindle, and hardback. So that's kind of what's going on in my life this year. But working with Paul is the most fun thing I do every month. We do have too much fun, whether we're out speaking together or whether we're working together online. He's in Atlanta. I'm in Texas. You probably heard a little bit of that Southern accent. And I'm super excited, Paul. This is what we were talking about before you guys joined us. Just so you know, this is the average dialogue we do while we're waiting for people to still log on. This is intentional, just so you know. In the next few weeks, I do turn 40. I know. Everybody's saying, no way you can be 40. You look so young. I know. Thank you.
I can't even remember the number of times I've heard that.
Shut up. This is the time you just listen. Anyway, so for my 40th birthday, my husband said, where do you want to have your party? And he's thinking someplace in town. And I said, let's go to New York. And not only let's go to New York, but let's bring in my best friends. So we're flying in my best friend, Jenny, from the UK. It's her first trip, Jenny Flintoff. Some of y'all know her. And Paul and Marla are coming in a day early from spring break in Florida to hang with us. My kids are all going. We're inviting some New York folks. We're doing the town right. I am so excited. Backstage passes, lots of Broadway shows, some amazing food, a limousine stretch tour of the city. And the truth is, 3.5 years ago, I did not even know this man. And this is how integral our families are now. My daughter's going on a mission trip to an orphanage with his family this summer. And so when I tell my audience, I trust Paul to train you, I don't just trust Paul to train you. I trust my children with him. I trust, my family with him and my money with him and my reputation with him. And that's why I can feel really confident, introducing him to you guys that haven't met him yet. Now, if you guys are of the Twitter fashion, if you're on Twitter at all, you can go to tweetchat.com. You'll see it on the screen, or tweetgrid.com. Those are free API interfaces. You go log into that with your Twitter ID. We're going to have a virtual chat room over there, but you have to put in the search term DIY success. Now, if you're using TweetChat or TweetGrid, it will automatically tag that for you every time. You don't have to put it in there twice. But if you're just using regular Twitter, make sure you type in every single tweet that's related to what we're talking about tonight, DIY success with the hashtag. Paul's ID is the @ and Paul Evans, the @ and Paul Evans. And my new, brand spanking new, shiny Twitter ID, I changed after 3.5 years, is now Carrie Wilkerson. So it's CarrieWilkerson. So stranger things have happened, but we're now going by our own names on Twitter. And we would love to see your feedback, some aha moments. If you have questions you're dying to ask, I'm going to ask that you hold them to the end, but you can tweet them as well, direct them towards me, and put the hashtag. Because while Paul's training, I'm going to be popping in and out, but I'm also going to be handling the Twitter stream because it's just super painful for him. He's just not qualified.
Hey, I'm tweeting now at least once a week.
Once a week, don't hurt yourself, brother.
It's crazy. All right, guys, be sure to participate in social media, especially those who are adept. A word that I learned just this week here in Alabama. Just made it to the South.
Adept. That is new for you. Adept.
Adept. All right, we're going to get started with the online business.
Here.
Do what?
Yep. Yeah, I see Kelly McCossie here. We met her at NAMS a few weeks ago. Wave if you're from NAMS, and we'll wave back at you. Super excited. Okay, I'll quit greeting folks, and I'll let you launch in.
No, I love it. I love it. We're so glad everybody's here tonight. We always have just a great time with this. A lot of hands going up. Love it, guys. Awesome. The online business success game, Carrie and I are both focused on really just being real, just being who we are. We don't really know how to get out there and run all the games and the scams that so many of us see online. And so we're just, what you see is what you get. But I went out today when I was looking around and I thought, well, let's play the online business success game. This is the first game that I saw played a lot, Gullible's Gusher. Rogue programmer steals the Facebook secret and now is handing you his own customized application that makes him a fortune. From some of the weirdest niches with 100% free targeted instant traffic. I was wondering just how many sales they probably made. This is actually a top seller. And so I was just blown away by the sales page. And I was thinking, I wonder how many people see that and are like, wow, this is it. This is the answer. Gullible's Gusher. One of my other favorites.
That.
The Profit Prostitute. Now, I can't believe it.
Brother.
Yeah, unbelievable. I'm not referring to you at all. Absolutely not. I'm not. Absolutely. So the Profit Prostitute. This is a weird game. Now, this is an online business, quote, success game, is that you'll go somewhere and you're about to order something and you decide, hey, I'm not going to do it. And you try to exit out, pop up. Hey, we've got a special deal for you. Stay on this page. And then you get a discount. I mean, I was about to pay $37 and now I can pay $27. And then I've found out that if I keep doing that some places, it goes down to about $7 overall. I don't think that that's really a great game to play. I mean, folks that have paid $27, should they have really paid that? I mean, or paid $37, should they really pay that? No way. The Profit Prostitute. And the third game, the Huckster's Hyperbole. Undeniable proof. These figures have not been doctored. No one's used Photoshop on this. These are actual numbers. Up to 20,477.66 in 24 hours. This could be you.
With no prep work whatsoever.
No prep work. Hey, it doesn't matter if you dropped out of school at the age of 3 and you have tinfoil on the top of your antenna, and that's how you get in the internets. You've got no teeth, and you're married to your cousin. You, too, can be a success online. It's crazy. So no games. My favorite saying, and you'll see Barefoot's favorite saying here in just a second. My favorite saying is success is not an accident. Nothing that we teach, nothing you hear tonight is going to be accidental. There's not going to be any funny numbers. There's not going to be any kind of gaming you. It's just what you see is what you get. And we believe in hard work that is accurate. Making money online to us is not difficult in the concept, but it does take the effort, it takes the fortitude, it takes the strength, it takes the consistency. Carrie has been focusing on another phrase that I just love. Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, well, first, isn't that the cutest baby you've ever seen?
Oh, I don't know. Not quite as cute as tall Stephen there, but.
Well, I was just thinking that Jose's looking just like you these days. He's just looking more and more like you. That's Paul's child. He sponsors from an orphanage in Cozumel, but I think he's starting to favor the family. He's got Sam's hair.
He does.
He does. I love it. Okay,
he's got my smile.
Yeah, so this is Baby Barefoot. You guys know she was 10 weeks old when I started the company. So when I started writing about her online, I named her Baby Barefoot. So I try to use her pictures a lot because I get asked about her a lot. She's a little celebrity. But, you know, Paul's success is not an accident. It has just been thrumming around in my head for several years. And I thought, you know, I think for a lot of people, we back up even a step from that. And we have to say, if you want to make progress, if you want to move forward, you may never hit what everybody else thinks of as success, but we can all make progress. We can all make that one step. So progress is on purpose. Rarely do you make progress on accident. Rarely is progress unintentional. It's a matter of, am I having pizza or am I having salad? Am I going to walk on the treadmill or am I going to lay on the couch? Am I going to work on my business effectively or am I going to go tweet instead of working on my business effectively? So progress is on purpose is my new mantra. And as a matter of fact, I always hashtag that on Twitter, PIOP, for those of you following along with that. There'll be some big things coming out of that this year, but this, you know, success is not an accident and progress is on purpose. There's nothing hypey. There's nothing gamey. There's nothing pretending. We're not saying you have to work. Paul and I do work hard. We do play hard. We do adore our families. We do have a lot of fun, as you can already tell, but it has to be intentional. It has to be on purpose.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love that you've adopted that and that I've adopted it as well, because that is such a clear statement that can keep us on track. One of our favorite books is the 10X Rule, where Grant says success is your duty, your obligation, and your responsibility. And I love this because there are too many people making excuses for why they're not successful, why they're not making it, and other people saying, hey, I've got enough already, or you know what, those successful people are just greedy. But the truth is, the more money you make, the more people you can help. Now, a lot of the gamers out there will talk about all the mansions and the yachts and everything that you can get. And certainly if you want nice gear, that's cool as well. But it's so awesome to be able to just do great stuff with your family, with your friends, and to be able to help other people in the world. The more you make, the more you can serve. Now, when you first saw this statement, Carrie, what really came through your mind?
You know, I think I'm the one that called you about this book. I was listening to it on audio while I was on the treadmill, and he just hammers this. Now, I was in LA this week, and we were going to head to lunch, and the truth is Fox News called him and whisked him away. But I was on the treadmill, and he's saying, what you've got to get through your mind is you have an obligation. You have a responsibility to your family. You have a responsibility to the people in your community and to the economy to be successful. I mean, he was just really that sincere about it. You know, I'm pretty driven. I mean, compared to Paul's personality, I would say I'm way more like externally driven. Grant makes me look like a slug going backwards. I mean, it's really crazy. But the fact is, he's got a lot of good points. It's your obligation and responsibility. I've started teaching the concept of shareholders. If you are in business for yourself, you still have shareholders that you're responsible to. Those are your family. Those are your friends. Those are the people you're supposed to be paying taxes to or helping their causes. So I love this. This is, now here's what we're saying. Not everybody has to be the same degree of successful. Success is in the eye of the beholder. Success is a definition that is fluid for you. So Rick, who's on the call, Rick Henry, or Jen, who's on the call, or any of you that are on the call listening, Nancy, Gary, your definition of success is going to be different than my definition, but do you still have a responsibility, a duty, and an obligation to get there? I think so, because you guys know I'm very faith-based. I have a close relationship with my Lord, and I will say, He doesn't give you a dream or a gift or a talent that you don't have an obligation to fulfill it. So you can translate however you want to in your own vernacular. But in my world, I think if I have a gift or a talent or something he gives me to use, I have an obligation and a responsibility to be successful with that, whatever success might look like.
Yeah, I love that. I see somebody else.
Woo! We're gonna preach.
Oh, yeah, we're about to because there's a passage next. But
I love
see Kelly McCausey on the call tonight. I want to use her as an example real quick of this statement, success is your duty, obligation, and responsibility. We were at NAMS a few weeks ago, and she actually won the affiliate marketing contest at that event. And she skipped one of the sessions to be out there working and pushing it so she could win. I love that. It's such a great example. Guys, we don't need to hold back. We don't need to shy away. We don't need to put the brakes on, but instead, let's step on the throttle. Let's kick it forward, and let's move fast in life, furious in life. We don't know how long we've got, so let's do the best we can with what we've got and serve the most people possible. I love this passage from Proverbs 28. He who works his land will have abundant food, but the one who chases fantasies will have his fill of poverty. Every time that I'm seeing one of these hucksters, big, bold headlines out there now, I always think about this verse. Whoever chases fantasies will have his fill of poverty. And I know many of my early days of internet marketing, I chased so many fantasies, but only when I got down to working my land, working what I knew I needed to be doing, using my gifts, my talents, and abilities, exactly as Carrie was saying a second ago, that's when everything began to turn around, and I really was able to move forward super rapidly. So one of the things we promised you tonight was that we're going to share the number one reason for failure. And
which
here
we
it is.
disagreed on.
We disagreed on, but I like this one.
But you picked mine.
I picked yours. I think there's probably about 10 top reasons, but we'll go with this one. I like it. I think it's clean.
The number one reason for failure in your small business, whether you're online or off, is not choosing or focusing on one business model. If you think that having an online business is a business model, you're wrong. And you're too scattered, and this is why you can't decide what to do next. There has to be a set business model. Now, let me just go ahead and interject. Paul thought the number one reason for failure was lack of focus. But are you seeing how that's connected? I think that the lack of focus goes back to you don't even know what kind of business you're building. You're either trying to emulate somebody else's business, which you cannot reverse engineer because you don't understand what the model is, or you just think, oh, I'm going to build me a business. It's going to be online. Tell me what to do. Well, I can't tell you what to do unless I know what you know how to do and unless you tell me what model you want to focus on. So if we're going to talk about this, then raise your hand if you think we should just go into the 5 core business models right now. 5 core business models. I talk about these in my book in great detail. We're going to skim over them tonight, but you need to look at how you can pigeonhole your business. So before you even ask, yes, sometimes they overlap. Yes, Paul has multiple models in his model now. Yes, I have multiple models in my business now, but you need to start and choose one primary business model and build from there. Paul, got anything to add to that?
No, I love that. I think that's dead on. And we get that question a lot. How many niches should I go into? How many different ways should I be trying to make money? And in the beginning, you follow one way, you become profitable, and then you move on.
Yep.
Right. So we're going to stop and take a poll. I'm going to actually have to pop out of these screens for just a second, and we're going to take a quick poll, and then we'll come back to the screens. And the question is, how long have you been trying to make money online? How long have you been trying to make money online? A year or more, 7 to 12 months, 0 to 6 months.
Dun,
This
dun,
is super interesting.
dun, 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 dun. I'm doing Jeopardy things.
All right, we're going to count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The poll is closing. All right, here are the results.
Wow.
33%, 0 to 6 months. I was shocked that middle figure, is so low. And then 1 year more, almost 60%.
I have a theory.
All right, let me hear it.
I think the reason why there's a dip in the middle is because people either quit before 6 months is up
Yeah.
or they're really committed and they stick in there. I mean, look at those people that have been trying for over a year to squeeze money out of their computer.
Right.
And then 6 months. So those are the newbies, the 0 to 6 months. They're the excited people, the learners, the attempters. I would guess that most of those people would be 0 to 3 months. And then that other gap is probably 3 to 12 months that they give up.
Right.
They lose hope. And then the other. Wow. Are y'all surprised that 60% of you have been trying to make money online for a year or more? I would love to know how much they've spent trying to do that too.
Well, I didn't put that poll together.
I know. Next time, we're going to do that poll next time.
That would be good.
Curious.
All right, guys. Appreciate you sharing that, because that helps us know, really where to go from here, and to really, even on the fly, we'll be making some adjustments based on those numbers. And so we want to talk about the 5 barriers to success. For you guys who are brand new, there's some things that you really need to avoid. Some of these you've already had happen to you. And then you guys who are a year or more, been trying to really be successful in your business, I want you to locate in these barriers the ones that really tie into you, where you are, what seems to be holding you back. So the first barrier ties in with that number 1 problem, is no clear path. Not having that model, and even if you select a model, that you don't have the exact path that you need to follow, like a checklist or somebody telling you, all right, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3, here's how you get there. Here's the GPS for your business. Here's what the destination is, and then here's what you're going to do to get there. I've bought so many products through the years that were never step by step. They had the concept there, but they never had the entire path there. Now, Carrie mentioned earlier about sharing the 5 different business models, and she's going to share those with us right now. You ready, sister?
I'm ready.
All right.
All right. Here we go. Of course, I had to make them all start with the same letter. In the book, they don't all start with the same letter, but I had to do this since I was teaching with Paul. It's the preacher in us. We use lots of alliteration. Okay, right. The fastest and easiest and most low-cost business to start, and you're going to say this isn't an online business, but the truth is, it is an online business. It's a business you can market online, and that's the service model. So what do I mean by the service model? I mean, anytime you trade your skills for money. So my first really profitable business, I didn't even know I was building it online. I built it virtual so I could work nationwide, but to me, it was still just a service business. I created desktop publishing newsletters for a small market of the direct sales industry. So I created a templated newsletter, graphic design, desktop publishing, whatever you want to call it. I was kind of a VA before VAs were cool. And I created a mass-generated templated newsletter. That was a service. What are some other examples of a service industry? Web design, virtual assistant, online business manager, accounting you can do, other service models that you can do in your neighborhood or, market online. I'm working with a client right now who has a really successful lawn care business, but he's kind of aging and weathering out of it. So what we're doing is taking that business online. We're creating some lead generation locally, lead generation for lawn care in other areas, plus we're adding AdSense and DIY kind of lawn care tips and ebooks and those kind of things. So that is a service model, lawn care, child care, food prep, etc. Anything where you can exchange your skills. So yes, you can market that online too. That's usually the fastest to get started because everybody has something they can exchange for money, right? The sales model. This to me means when you're exchanging a tangible product, typically one you do not manufacture, but you could also manufacture it. Say you make dolls or you make toys or you paint things or you take pictures. You're selling something, but also under this model falls like direct sales. So say you represent Mary Kay or you're in an MLM, like send out cards or representing the travel industry. You're selling a tangible product. Also, eBay and Etsy would fall under this category where you're selling a product, whether you're drop shipping it from somebody else or creating it yourself. That's the sales model. The merchandise model is another thing I like to call that. The specialty model. This one is coaching and consulting. This is using your specialty, your special skill, your special knowledge set. So the first thing we talked about was your skill set in service, right? The specialty is using your own knowledge set. So consultants or coaches. Maybe you're a fitness coach. Maybe you're a business coach. Maybe Maybe you're a life coach or a yoga coach, or you do consulting, you're a software consultant, or you go in and do leadership, like our friend Jenny Flintoff does leadership and team building within corporate. That would be the specialty model. The SMARTS model is what you guys would know as the information marketing model, meaning you take what's in your brain and you take it to the bank. You create books or ebooks or audios or webinars, or hey, a webinar like this, or a course that you're leading people through. That's the SMARTS model. And that means you have to know something that other people are willing to pay for. So is it recipes? Is it pet care? Is it lawn care? Is it hair care? Is it design or fashion or business? Or what is it about? So the SMARTS model is going to operate based on the premise that you've got some, okay? We'll just leave it at that. The suggestion model. Now, this is a model we love, and again, this is one you can incorporate in lots of other things. The suggestion model is also the commission model, is also the referral model, or you might think of it as the affiliate model. This means I don't create a product or service. What I do is create a community that then I market other people's products or services to. So if you are here as a result of somebody that you're on their email list introducing us to you on their email list, if you are here because somebody else told you to be here, that's the suggestion model. If you buy anything from us in the future, they will be tagged in our database and they'll get a thank you gift from us, a thank you check from us. There's nothing sleazy or slimy about that. Realtors are on the suggestion model. Financial planners are on the suggestion model. Lots of industries are based on commission. Furniture salespeople are based on commission, etc. And it goes on and on and on. So those are the 5 core models. Yes, you can have some overlap. Yes, you will probably want to build multiple streams of income. But what I'm suggesting to you, what I'm adamant about with my clients, is pick one primary model first. Get it to profitable cash. Get it to non-struggle mode. Get it to ridiculous profitability, and then worry about adding something else. It's when you try to build multiple models that you end up in some frustration along the way because you're too fragmented. Stop now with the spray and pray method and get in there and laser beam focus on one of the models, and you will be shocked and awed at how your business progresses. This is the #1 comment I get after people read my book. I just took your advice on focusing on one model, and I'm amazed at my progress. It really can be that simple. So those are the 5 basic models. Are there other models that might be blurry within those? Where does your model fit? That's what you're going to have to decide. We may have some Q&A time later, but just let's overgeneralize for a minute and pretend there's only 5.
Yeah, I love that. And I like what you said. You know, it's going to be up to them to choose. And I think that's another one of the major mistakes, is that people are always wanting somebody else to make their decision for them. Hey, is there a way for me to take myself out of this entire scenario and somebody just tells me what to do and I don't have to think and I don't have to bring anything to the table? I'm just going to get rich. But the truth is there's so much more power in being able to select the model according to your strengths or your abilities and your wiring, and it allows you to be so much more successful. I love those models, Carrie. I think that's just dead on, and I think all of us can find a way to really spot ourselves.
Did you notice I did not say one time, find something you're passionate about and fit it into one of the models?
Right.
I did not say this. I did not say find what you're passionate about. Don't worry about being passionate about what you do yet. Be passionate about why you're doing it and who you're doing it for. You can tweet me on that. You can quote me on that. That's important. Don't have that entitlement mentality that you can only do something you love. Do something you're good at. Do something that the market will bear, and then you will be excited about the profitability, excited about the time with your family, excited about the freedom, and you can be passionate later. I'll stop.
Love it. Oh, girl, I'm always expecting at least, 4 to 18 rants a webinar.
Couple throwdowns.
Barrier number 2, info overload. I hear this all the time. How about you, Carrie?
Oh, I'm tired of it.
I'm overloaded with hearing about info overload. I went yesterday and was not substituting, but I had a guy at ACA ask me to come out and teach a couple of his classes because he was wanting to basically learn how to make it more applicational instead of simply throwing out information. So I went out there and I thought, these kids, even though they've got all day, they sit in a classroom covering 7 different subjects 5 days a week, have to write papers, have to take tests, and while they don't like it, I didn't hear one kid just going, you know what, school, info overload. Listen, if kids can sit in there all day and do that and make good grades, guys, we can function. The problem is not that there's too much information, it's that we don't know what to concentrate on.
It's that we won't make a decision, and we're looking at too much information because we're looking at something easier, faster, cheaper with a bigger profit margin. That's what that's about.
And going back to those games that people play, how many times have we looked at something that they promised that it was easy, that it was simple, and it was magic, and we got in there and it was complicated. It was a lot harder than we thought it was going to be. And that's where the info overload really takes place. It's when our expectation slams into reality and we realize we're actually going to have to do something. Overload. Barrier 3, incompletion. This goes back to that. What did you say? Spray and pray?
The spray and pray method. Do 5 different things and hope something's going to work.
And so we get scattered, and sometimes we say that we're going after the bright, shiny object, but we never get to that finish line. We never complete it because we never stay focused on one thing. There's something else that's new that seems like, oh, that's the answer. That's the route that I need to go. And then something else comes along. Somebody says, oh, wait a minute, Facebook pages are about to change. You better get on that bandwagon, because if you're not one of the first ones to adopt it, heaven knows that you're never going to get any traffic the rest of again from the internet for as long as you live. And so everything's put out there like this is it. There's no other option. And we just don't make it to the finish line. When we could just stay consistent, we could stay focused, we could follow the plan, follow our model, and make it all the way to the end. Any other thoughts on that, sis?
Well, Mr. Barefoot has a new theory. He's seen me work with these clients for years now, and he says that's red zone paranoia. Folks are afraid of the red zone, that they run the field and then they're just going to get to the end and just freeze up because they're afraid something's going to go right, or they're afraid they're going to have more responsibility, or maybe they picked the wrong model, but they have this red zone paranoia. So let's go pick up something else and work on that in the meantime, and then I'll come back to that later.
And often the phrase that accompanies it is, maybe this will work. Instead of saying, all right, I'm going to score. I'm not going to worry about it when I get inside the 20. I'm going to push harder instead of pulling back. Barrier number 4 is technology. And guys, this is just real. Everything right off the bat in internet marketing, online business, it's not intuitive. A lot of the things are not intuitive. There's a handful of people that it's easy for, but the truth is, for 90% plus, technology is a very real barrier because society has taught us that everything is supposed to be easy. But the truth is, if you've ever put together a bicycle at Christmas for one of your kids, you opened those sheets up and took the box back up to like Sears and said, I'm going to need you to get going on this. That's what it's more like. The first time you look at the plans, it's not going to work. And here's what I see so many people doing. They'll go out and they'll watch a video, and it'll say something like, learn to install WordPress. And they watch a video and they look at it and they say, I just can't do that. Watching a video, reading the instructions is not enough. You've got to take the steps, make some mistakes along the way, and then, a few weeks or maybe even a few months later, suddenly it becomes easy. But it doesn't become easy overnight by any means of the imagination. Now, I do a lot of the technology stuff myself, and a lot of the training that Carrie and I do a lot of the technology side. She does a lot of the strategy side. And that's one of the reasons we've been just such a great team. I've learned so much from her on that side, and then she's allowed me to do so much of the work on the other side.
I'm grateful you let me give you that gift. So here's the thing. If you're afraid of technology, the fact is I set up my own squeeze page. When I started that list, August 27th, 2007, we were on a vacation with the kids. I still had a newborn that literally I could only be away from for every 2 hours because she ate every 2 hours. So I literally locked myself in the hotel room and told my husband, if you can just keep the 4 kids from stabbing each other, falling off the balcony, whatever, for 2 hours, if you can just deal with that for 2 hours, I need to put up a squeeze page, attach my autoresponder, and create some bait for it. And I think I can do that in 2 hours. And now, that being said, I did that by watching AWeber tutorials. by watching online HTML tutorials, by using stock photography and graphics, but because I had a deadline. A big part of the problem is so many of you don't have a deadline. You don't have a hard and fast deadline. You have another job, or you have another source of income, or you have something else you can do, and so it's not do or die. Well, I'm the primary breadwinner for our family. My husband works with me and for me, and so it is do or die for me. I mean, I'm very motivated by the mortgage. I'm very motivated by my son's therapy. I'm very motivated by the refrigerator needing to be filled. So give yourself a deadline. Give yourself a have to. Take away your gas money. Take away your cell phone allowance. Treat yourself like you're having to kick yourself out of the house and get a real paying something and see a little bit of urgency. Sorry, that's number 4, rant number 4.
Oh, there'll be plenty more to come. No reason to apologize.
And this is me off caffeine. There you go.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. I was thinking you were super calm tonight. I was a little concerned. All right, guys, for those of you who are afraid of technology because you're afraid you're going to embarrass yourself and things not going to look good, here is my very first website for Teen Life Ministries. It was done in Microsoft Publisher.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
This was live. It was on the internet. It's still on there with the Wayback Time Machine. So, guys, do not let technology scare you. You can learn it. If there's one thing that I 100% believe is that every single ounce of technology that you need to learn to run your business solo, if you never want to have VAs or anything, you can learn that. I'm pretty much a soloist. I hardly outsource anything, and I use a minimum amount of technology. It does not have to be a barrier. Barrier number 5 is no profitable help. And what I mean by that is that you've got people who have actually made money helping you. One of the most dangerous things that I see is people hanging out in forums getting how to make money advice from other broke people. I do not understand that. And all
it's
the broke...
getting dieting advice from fat people. Don't do it.
Yeah, all the broke people are hanging out together and talking with confidence. Here's what you need to be doing.
Getting marriage advice from divorced people, parenting advice from people that don't have custody. It's not a good idea, y'all.
It makes no sense. Let's just stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a time out on that. No profitable help. And all of us really do need help in our businesses. There's nothing wrong with asking for help and getting help. Just make sure you are getting it from the right sources. That is critical. All right, I think that it may be time for our second poll.
Woohoo, back to the polls. We're just getting ready, getting y'all warmed up for November.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we're going to vote for president here in just a few minutes. I'm kidding.
We are not talking politics tonight.
All right, which one of these are holding you back the most? You're scattered, you've got no real plan, you are confused, you've got information overload, and you can vote for as many of these as you want. Just click the screen, vote for as many as you want. Distraction, you never complete a current project. Overwhelmed, the technology is holding you back. You're alone. You've got no one to help you personally. You can vote for as many as you want. Keep voting, keep clicking. Scattered, confused, distracted, overwhelmed, alone. So, sister, you don't want to vote for president on here, okay?
Don't vote for president. Take that off. I'm waiting until I have some candidates that I'm excited about. Oh,
I heard
that was
that.
a political statement right there.
It was. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Closing the poll. Here are the results. 68% scattered, no real plan. 50% confused, information overload. I think that's a great number, actually. Just half. That's really positive. 64% distraction, never complete a current project. 44% overwhelmed, technology holds me back. And alone, no one to personally help me that I can trust. 58%. So we see 68, then 64 and 58, and the ones that are the ones that folks are just really struggling the most with the things that we just went through. And I think we see those numbers pretty regularly. Don't you think, Carrie?
Mm-hmm. I was just saying, I don't see any difference in those numbers. It just seems universal.
Good stuff, guys. Thanks for sharing that. So why do
Thanks for
so
being
many
honest.
get stuck? Yeah, go ahead.
I said, thanks for being honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Why do so many get stuck and not make it to the finish? Carrie and I did this. I think last year we were kind of looking around with this question: why do so many get stuck and not make it to the finish? And it really came down to there being so many different puzzle pieces. And when we came up with this, I thought this is so true in my past. And once I got past this, it really made a huge difference. So think about the different puzzle pieces maybe that you've seen in the past year and a half. There was a release for list control that was like $2,000. There was a release for Video Boss that was $2K. There was a release for Experts Academy actually earlier this year for about $2K. Perpetual Traffic Formula, $2K. Product Launch Formula, $2,000. Guru Blueprint, $2,000. Outsource Force, $2,000. Affiliate.com was $2,000. Marketing Millions. Now, this wasn't something that was majorly broadcast, but happened to be on the list that I got this offer for, $25,000. And the end result of all of this is that there were like $41,000 worth of things to buy, plus upsells. But if you if you bought every one of them, you still wouldn't have a business. And what's even worse is that people were buying pieces of different puzzles. It wasn't like all these pieces fit the same puzzle. Each one of these pieces were really designed for a different model or a different puzzle. And it's not that any of these products, we're not saying at all that they were bad. I actually own several of these products. They're good products if you know already what your model is and how to use it.
I have a new way to say this.
Yeah, let me hear it.
What people are lacking in business is their overall strategy and plan. What they're spending all their money on are tactics and tools, but they don't have the strategy or plan to implement them with. So if you have a strategy or plan, the tools are fine to supplement that. But I never recommend you buy these things as your strategy. They're not strategy, they're tactics and tools to supplement an existing business that's growing. But unless you have the existing foundation of the business, it's not going to do you any good to put a solar paneled roof on it to save electricity if you don't have the walls and the interior beams set up.
Write that down, guys. Strategy and plan versus tools and tactics. Strategy and plan versus tools and tactics. And so as Carrie and I were looking through all of these things, and we've had such a great year last year doing our DIY marketing. We just had so much fun. It was just a blast doing that every single month. We put our heads together and said, all right, well, how can we do this? How can we take these 5 barriers and get those out of the way? How can we help people find the best business model for them? And how can we help them design a business, a real business, and not simply get another tactic or another tool? So what we're wanting to do is diy30, and we're super excited about this and super charged about this. And we're going to share with you a lot of the things that we're going to be hitting in diy30, but even while we're going through this, we're going to share some of the strategies that we do ourselves so that you'll actually get value and content with this overview and with this preview of diy30.
Yeah,
so
and I have some homework for them.
All right, homework. I love it.
Yeah, I want them to, on their piece of paper that you have, here's what I want you to do so that you don't get to the end of this webinar and say, oh, I didn't learn anything. I mean, first of all, raise your hand or tweet if you've already learned something or gotten a little more clear on something. I mean, let's just be honest. We've already had a lot of aha moments, and the business models alone, was helpful. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down what business model you want to focus on out of those 5 we talked about. Go ahead and write that down. And don't write down 2. Write down 1. Write down 1 business model so that when we're moving into this, when we're moving into talking about your niche and your site and your squeeze and all these things, that you have a framework around it. Because if you don't anchor it right now, if you don't put it in a bucket right now in your head, then everything else we say after this, you'll say, oh, but if I do this other thing, this is how that might apply there. Or, oh, if I do it, well, okay, so then you get to the end and you say, I don't know that this applies to me. So this is why you've got to nail your hiney to the chair and say, do I want an information marketing business? Do I want a coaching business? Do I want to be an affiliate marketer full time? Do I want to represent somebody else's product? What do you want to do? Better yet, What can you do the most quickly? Nail it down, and then everything else will be the framework around it. It's like trying to decorate the Christmas tree, hanging ornaments on branches that you haven't put up yet. You can't decorate the tree until you put up the tree. So first, let's put up the tree, let's pick your model, and then we'll move on from there. If this is going to be a learning call from you, you have to interact. So write down your business model or your idea, what model it fits in, and then we'll go from there. I promise you, I always promise you, you're going to walk away with multiple actionable things you can do. Nobody can ever walk away from any call or webinar that Paul and I do and say, oh, they were only making us an offer. We are going to preview our program, period, end of story. We told you that before we got here. But the fact is, we're going to teach you along the way because that's how we roll. So, all right. So did you write down your business? Paul, have you written down your business model?
Yes.
What is your core business model? What is your primary core business model?
You know, my core model, this is going to sound a little bit strange, but my core model is actually selling my smarts even right here from Alabama.
Yeah, right there you go. If you can do it out there where the poor population doesn't have all their teeth, you can do that just anywhere. So, and y'all know I'm just teasing. I love Alabama. My core business model is also selling your smarts. Now, I do have those other layers built in. Now, my first business was a sales model. I represented somebody else. I then migrated to a different business. I closed down that business and I opened up another business, which was the service model. And then I sold that business. Actually, I started Barefoot Executive while I still owned the service business. So I was full-time managing CEO and chief technician of that company while I built Barefoot Executive. So those of you that were saying you have a full-time job or a full-time business, we get that. We've both been there. And so I actually migrated from that service business into the information business. So I've built each one to ridiculous profitability and then either sold it or, had somebody else manage it and then moved on to the next one. And now I'm a smarts marketer. So I do also do some consulting, et cetera, but my core business that could run, whether I create one more additional thing or not, would be my information marketing. So, okay, have you guys written that down? Are we ready to go into the niche? Sorry to interrupt you there, Paul. I just really want them to architect. I want you guys to walk away from here with a success architecture. I really want you to go away. I hate to use the word blueprint. It's so overused, but I really want you to walk away with a framework to hang this on. So let's start hanging, Paul.
Yeah, well, to me, that's exactly what we're talking about. When you're choosing your niche, a big part of that's what your model is. How you're going to be doing that. And your niche is really just the area that you are going to own. It's the area that you're going to be known for, that people come to associate your name with that particular market. Instead of trying to do everything, you do one thing really, really well. Anytime that I personally think of strategy, I think of Carrie. Now, it's not simply because we're friends. It's because I watch her and see what she's doing. I see all of her tweet stream, even though I'm not a heavy participant. She's one of the few that actually tweet. But I read her newsletters and her blog posts, all of those things. And so when anyone is talking about really strategizing your business out, making that plan, she's who I think of. Now, I'm a little bit different because I've got multiple markets. So I've got one market with public speakers, and when people think about speaking, they come to me to get trained. Another market's youth ministry. And I don't have too many layers in there that they know what the other markets I'm in. They're not really well aware of those, which is fine. It's no big deal. But I did not start that way. I started with one market in an area that I felt comfortable and confident in. And so don't worry so much. This is going to be counterintuitive for a lot of people. Don't worry so much about doing infinite keyword research to find out if you found this unknown niche that is going to make you cajillion dollars because nobody else has run across it yet. Go where people are already hanging out and take that audience. Interject yourself in the middle of the existing traffic and just take it over. So when Carrie's saying, write that model down, I want you to also write down some areas that you feel strong in. And this isn't a time for false humility, and it's not a time to go, I just ain't good at nothing. My whole life, I just can't be doing nothing good. And listen, you do. You've got talent, you've got the gifts, you've got abilities that you can take to the marketplace and that you can serve. Now, if you decide that you want to be part of DIY30, we're going to be working with you one-on-one to help you do that. We'll be having actually something very special this Saturday that's going to really catapult us before we get started next Monday with the actual class. But, that's something else that you really need to be writing down. We're also going to be helping you get your site established. So any technology problems, we're going to knock those out of the way, and we're going to push those right off the cliff so that you're going to have your complete business up and running, done within 30 days. We're also going to be helping you with your squeeze page. Make sure you got something up that is going to capture those email addresses. Carrie and I both believe so heavily in list building that if you don't have a list, you really do not have a business. Carrie, talk to us a little bit about that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Here's the deal. My websites could all crash, and they have been hacked before. They could all crash. My products could all get set on fire. Anything could happen. All my affiliates could go out of business. Everything could happen wrong, and you would think I'd be out of business. And as long as I still have my list, I can create content, create rapport, and make offers to my list, whether they're offers from other people or whether it's a live series that I do. As long as I have a list, I have a business. And I really learned this before I was in business. We bought a wedding ring from a guy that at a certain jewelry store. And I remember that he recorded all my information in this big black binder. And then he changed jewelry stores about 6-8 months later, and he sent us a postcard letting us know he was moving stores, but he was taking his book of business with him. Now, those of you that have been in an offline business or a retail business, you know what that means. He took his customers with him. His customers did not belong to the store. They belonged to the manager, the jeweler, the salesperson. So what did I do? Did I stay with that store or did I stay with my guy? I stayed with my guy. And my list is the same way. A lot of you are here because you're on my email list or on my social media list or wherever you happen to be from, because you know I provide content to you free a lot, because I do a lot of training just in Twitter. Had the comment the other day, a guy said, I learn as much from the comments you give back in your blog posts than I do from the content on most people's blog posts. So, that's the reputation I have with my list. And the reason I work at that and invest in that and cultivate that is because that is my business. People are my business. Products are not my business. And so we're going to teach you how to grow these, how to nurture these leads, how to keep them loyal, how to give them good content, and then how to convert them into solutions for them as well as profits for you.
Guys, write that down. Products are not my business. People are my business. And you need to write that down. I felt that Southern coming in really strong right there. And it's going to be so much worse here in a few minutes. You're going to start really taking those vowels out to a new level. Everybody listening, you will become Southern. People are your business, are my business. That is so critical.
Let me give one tip on this, because truth is, I'm just more of a radical list builder than Paul. I mean, he does build his list, but I'm just super aggressive about it. Here's the deal. You can't build a list until you have an opt-in page somewhere, until you have a pop-up somewhere, until you have some real estate somewhere. Facebook is not your list. Twitter is not your list. LinkedIn, G+, none of those. Pinterest, they're not your list. They're part of your network. They're part of your connections. They're part of your community. But when the dollar meets the road, when push comes to shove, those are third-party real estate that those people could take offline in a heartbeat. But your email list is your email list is your email list. Those are your people. And, that's just biblical. Whither thou goest, I will go, and where you go, I will follow. That's what your list will do with you. But you have to have control of that list. So before you worry about all this social media distraction, which is shocking you right now because you guys know I love social media, but that's not where the bulk of my business is. My goal is to cultivate relationships in social media to get them to my list, to get you on to my subscriptions so that I can communicate with you directly without all the noise, without all the other competing atmosphere. Social media is for relationship. The list is for the lead, is for cultivating and the intimacy, if you will. So So we'll just go at it this way. Social media is the mixer and the list is the date. All right. So if that helps you remember that. And then you got to make the offer. So at some point when you're on the date, you either lean in for the kiss. You lean in for the kiss and you either get the kiss or the slap, but you get a decision either way. All right. So there we go. We've just gone there and that'll help you remember that. But you've got to get them on your list, which means you have to have some real estate somewhere where they can opt in on your blog, on a pop-up, on a website, wherever it is. It doesn't have to be fancy. Yeah, just like this. And so we're going to go into that on the next thing. But I just don't want you to be bamboozled or fooled. I did just say bamboozled into thinking that these third-party social things, that just because you have 100,000 people over there doesn't mean they're all paying attention. It doesn't mean they're going to convert. The fact of the matter is you have to be building your email database, period, end of story. Stop chasing all the trends and focus on the email list.
Ooh, all right. We appreciate rant number 11. That was fantastic. And let me say something too, guys. You know, Carrie and I build our businesses, and we're both really successful. We do it a little bit differently. Like she mentioned, that I'm not really an aggressive list builder. And by that, it's because I'm not out there on social media. I'm not pushing people to that site. I do a lot of paid traffic. My youth ministry list, for example, I've got about 40,000 youth ministers on a list. That's a lot more than people's business lists altogether. So 40,000 youth ministers, and I'm not aggressive. I mean, it's all kind of paid. They show up on the page. They opt in. I'm not out there on social media killing it. I'm not out there on Facebook every day telling all these youth workers, hey, you got to get there, sign up, sign up, sign up, sign up. I'm not doing any of that. It's very relaxed. And that's one of the things that Carrie and I will love teaching over the next 30 days is helping you discover your style. If you're driven and you're going to kill it, you can be like Carrie, then you're going to do really well. If you're a little bit more laid back, like me, you can still do really, really well. We're also going to help you with your affiliate income. Carrie, by estimate, how much do you think you made last year? You may actually know the exact number of how much you made.
Well, I have a good CFO that gives me monthly reports, so I absolutely do know. I have averaged 6 figures a year for the last 3 years.
Love it. Love it. I mean, think about that, guys. And now I'm not quite as the numbers aficionado as I do not have a CFO.
That's the understatement of the century.
I will round my affiliate income into a lot. So that's going to be my rounded number. And so we're going to help you out with that. But to give you some content on this kind of thing, when it comes down to your affiliate offers, the best affiliate offers that you can make are not only the offers that match your audience. That's a given. But if you can find offers that match your voice, when you're out there serving the people, you're writing the blog posts, you're writing your newsletter content, they get to know you. They get to know your style. They get to know your voice. They get to know your cadence, your rhythm, your excitement or your lack of excitement, whatever it may be. And when you put a product in front of them that matches who you are, you watch Carrie, you watch me, we don't do a ton of affiliate offers. We make a lot of money with the offers that we do, but we don't go out there and push every single thing that comes out. Instead, we find things that really fit our people, but more importantly, they match our ethics, they match our values, they match our voice. And so when our people get the offer, they're not confused by it. They don't go, well, why in the world's Paul promoting that? Or why is Carrie promoting that? It matches. And if you can have affiliate offers that really match who you are, who your market is, you're really going to get ahead. Anything to add to that?
Yeah. The fact is I could probably make $250,000 a year affiliate marketing with my list or more. I could do just affiliate marketing if I wanted to, but there's not that many people that I trust to bring in front of my audience, first of all. And so I'm really very particular about what I put in front of my audience. But the fact of the matter is the list is still important. Even if you choose affiliate, the list is still important because who are you going to promote to if you don't have a list? So it really does all go back to the list. You don't have a business in any of the models. Just had a guy online ask, is this applicable if you have a t-shirt printing company. And what I will say unequivocally, I don't care if you sell jewelry, I don't care if you sell cold cream or if you scoop poop in somebody's yard or if you're delivering newspapers. I believe everybody should have a client list and a prospect list that they are able to reach out and touch someone through an easy electronic means with a direct response, which is email. I think it's just that important. So yes, I think it absolutely will work. I think some of the best offline businesses that we know are being funneled to by online methods right now. So I don't want you to think it just has to fit one certain model. And the t-shirt business would fit under that sales model, that product, that merchandise model. So yes, that absolutely works. Okay, so Paul, back to affiliate income. The key is your integrity. The key is your reputation, your relationship with the list, and also, knowing how you're marketing to them. If you're going to burn them on affiliate offers, yeah, you're going to churn your list a little more. But I think as long as you keep it relevant and as long as you keep it relational, then this is a good model. And we'll talk a lot about that because Paul and I do really great on the affiliate promotions we do, even though we have smaller lists than some of the heavy hitters. And we'll go into a lot of detail on that.
Yeah, and tagging on that a little bit, when you mention a list, regardless of the model, I mean, it's no different offline. Every restaurant, every retail shop, everybody out there is dependent on customers, and not just new customers. They are dependent on repeat customers. And the only way you do that is when you build the list and you're able to contact them at will. All right, so next, we're also going to be covering in diy30, your product, getting your own personal product up and selling it so that you can not only keep the commissions, but that you're also going to be able to have affiliates representing you. We'll go through every single step of doing that, of your product creation, and also making sure that you got everything up so that you can actually take orders. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about maybe a number one way to create products that you like best. Gary, you share one and I'll share one. The number one way that you like to create products.
On the fly. I love to create live products like workshops, boot camps, webinars. I suggested to somebody the other day in the menu industry, I said, you have such a loyal following. I would create and you know who I'm talking about, I would create a $17 webinar on, setting your kitchen up for success. I used her brand in there, but I don't have her permission to share her brand with you, but how to set your kitchen up with success. And so she's going to give them checklists on where to put things in the triangle spaces of, the efficiency triangle, I think is what they call that. Pantry must-haves that you need to have on hand all the time. Things not to be without. Things to look for when you're doing, when you're buying this kind of tool and that kind of tool. So she's going to do a webinar with these downloads. It's going to be a live webinar. They're going to be able to ask questions. She's going to be able to record it and then use it as a recorded product over and over. That's in the menu market. So I like creating those kind of products. I like the business builder boot camps or one of the most successful ones I heard of recently was a raw food, converting to raw food. And it was an audio series and it was wildly successful. So I like knowing the topic, knowing some bullet points, pre-selling it. That's as good as getting a book advance, people. Okay. You're pre-selling it to gauge interest. You're pre-selling it to know if you even need to bother. And you're getting your money in advance to create your transcripts or pay for your technology. So that has been my favorite for 4.5 years, and that will continue to be my favorite, is creating live products on the go.
Cool. I think my favorite is, even though I love those and we do a lot of those, I definitely like creating video products and being able to take a lot of private label rights material that's well written, turn those into video screens, record it, basically put the screens together in about an hour, do about an hour worth of recording, and done. Have at least one module of a product done, if not a complete product done. To me, that's just super easy, being able to take content that already exists, that I've got permission to use, and then going through, pulling out the points that I love the best, and then just kicking it in, recording it, putting it out there for sale. But we'll also be covering a lot more of different product creation techniques and helping you create your product as well. We'll also be talking about your blog, how to leverage that for maximum benefit. Barefoot, tell us about your blog a little bit and what you do with it.
Here's a big, big, big secret. I've only been blogging for less than a year. And I really resisted blogging a little bit because I didn't know that I could come up with that much content. But this is my video blog, so I'll shoot 12 or 13 episodes at a time and put them on a blog with a weekly time release. And those drip out as content. They're like 3 or 4 minutes. I don't script any of them. I'll write down a key point on a Post-it note, and then I'll expand on it. If you can't talk extemporaneously about your content, your niche, or your market for 3 minutes, then maybe you should choose a different market, niche, or target audience, because you should have 3 minutes of content in your head, easy breezy. Don't try to teach all your content in one video. So I like to do things like spell things out. Like if I'm spelling out the SMART series, then I'm going to do one video on S, the S of SMART, and then the next one's going to be M. That it keeps people engaged. It's a little bit like the soap opera, the serialized novel method or the soap opera method. I like to do the 3-part series where point 1 and then next video we're going to do point 2. So that can be super easy. I could also pull all these videos down, bundle them together, and create some video products. So that's easy. And here's the deal. One thing I wanted to refer back to products when you talked a minute ago is that Paul and I really are pretty frugal, honestly. We like to create things with shoestring tools. We don't like to use expensive tools if we don't have to. He created an entire video tutorial series using Jing, which is a free screencaster. He did all Jing videos for that, and that's a free service. So we, when we're teaching you, we're not necessarily going to suggest big expensive things or that you outsource everything. Paul uses a software to create his landing pages and his sales pages, where he doesn't have to outsource it because it's pretty intuitive. So I did want to, some of you are hesitant to create products because you think it sounds expensive or you think it sounds involved, and it really doesn't have to be. My favorite is to use a webinar like this or a telephone and create a series that's very low tech and very low cost of entry. And then all you have to do really is have a PayPal account and have a conference line where you can deliver it. So I want to take the fear out of that for you guys. I'm not very technical. What I do know I've learned as I've gone, and you can do it too. And that's, if you haven't figured it out by now, that's how we teach. We are who we say we are. We are as real as we say we are, and that's how we do our DIY classes and how we do our own personal training. It really is low key, but super helpful and effective.
Cool. Good stuff. Traffic ring. We'll also be talking about that and sharing that with you in one of the weeks. And I love paid traffic. Carrie and I have totally different traffic strategies. So I spend a lot of my time on paid traffic. I'm going to reveal a lot of that. But the reason that I actually do that is because I'm in a niche with the youth ministers that I can actually choose that traffic and get my clicks down really low. And for you guys that decide you want to be part of diy30, I'm going to show you what I do to make sure that I get my cost per click down to a level that really allows me to excel. But let me give you a traffic tip, and that is choose the best traffic for your market. Now, that might not sound like much, but we see all these different products out there telling you, go do this, go do that. Like I just mentioned paid traffic, but I don't use paid traffic in every single one of my markets. With Nicheology, my #1 traffic source is affiliates. I'm not doing any paid traffic over there. So when you understand what's the best source of traffic for my site. Sister, you want to share anything about that?
Yeah, I don't like to pay for traffic. And part of that, so that's why Paul says we're so different. And part of that's because I never like to focus on just one entry offer. His Teen Life series, that's what you get. That's what their offer is for. I'm a generalist in a lot of ways. So paid traffic really does call for a tested, singular offer that you're pointing to. So for me, I'm a personality-driven marketer. I'm a relationship-driven marketer. I really prefer to drive my traffic from the inside out. I know you guys are going to tweet about me, Facebook about me, talk about me, and bring other people in. That's traffic from the inside out. It only costs me my time. It only costs me my content and some giving on my part. And so paid traffic to me is really more scientific. It's a little riskier. So what we like to talk about when we teach traffic is bought, borrowed, and brought traffic. And so we'll talk to you about the traffic ring, how to bring traffic in. I will teach you some of the new paid traffic methods I'm learning, because my goal is to implement paid traffic in the 3rd quarter of this year. So we'll talk to you a lot about that. But the majority of my traffic for over 4 years has been free traffic and fringe traffic. So yeah, I love how we approach that very differently.
Yeah, because with the paid traffic side, even though it's a little bit, I guess, scientific, like you say, the way that I look at it for my youth ministry, just to give the guys some insight into this, is that with the paid traffic, I don't really pay any attention to it. I spend about 30 minutes a week on that site. We've got 3,000 members paying $10 a month at this point. So you can do the math on that yourself. At 30 minutes a week, I'm not too concerned about getting out there and doing a lot of things that are going to take a lot of my time up. I get to now choose to use my time in either other markets or just hanging out with the kids. Now, this is Carrie's specialty. When we cover this at diy30, I will be silent because she will be sharing all of the strategies.
Paul says that 4 years ago when we met, that I dragged him kicking and screaming into oncoming social traffic. Now, that was not just true online, but in real life, too. He was the kind of person at a conference that would go into his room in between sessions instead of mixing with people in the halls. And I was not going to stand for that. So I have introduced him to everybody I know, put him on every stage that I know, because the truth is, this man belongs in stadiums addressing people. If you guys ever heard him on stage, you would absolutely agree. So I just consider it my responsibility to improving the world to get Paul in social traffic. However, he does not enjoy it like I enjoy it. I enjoy different people. I enjoy. Now, that being said, he's really great with the people he has relationships. He just doesn't see the need for a lot of extra relationships.
Hey, and I'm doing better. I'm doing better.
You are doing way better. I think you have 4 friends now. It's awesome.
I'm taking applications.
Yes, but with me, when I go out, it's always a party. We find the middle of the party, and it's, and I'm usually right there in it. So social media is a lot that way. It's creating a party and joining a party in a conversation and finding out what people are talking about, finding out what people are interested in, and then, bringing them over into what you're talking about, what you're interested in. And there are some nuances to that, and there are a lot of great ways to get them on your list, a lot of great ways to get them sharing your content. I attribute social media with the reason my blog is popular, because they do love to share stories in social media. And they love to share relationships and people. And so social is a great aspect. It's not what you're going to build your business on, but it's what you can use, one of the strategies you can use to grow your business with. And the truth is, because of search engine optimization and keywords and personal search rankings and all these things that you don't even necessarily track right now, you can't ignore social. Even if you're not as social as me, you can't afford to ignore it as far as listening to your market, being present, handling customer issues, and search engine optimization and keywords.
And I've actually done a little bit better on Facebook than I have on Twitter, but here's the big message out of this, guys, that you do need to use all forms, as much as possible as it fits your market. But here's the thing, if you are highly social, then that's going to work to your advantage. And if you're not highly social, that's going to work to your advantage too, because neither one of those are actually the best. It's just that you understand how to become profitable in the framework. Now, if your market tells you've got to be in social media, then I think it's not going to be optional. You just got to learn it. You got to put the pedal down. You got to move hard with it. And if you're in another market where you can be a little bit more withdrawn, that's cool too. So I don't want you to hear this and think, well, I've got to be just like Paul, or I've got to be just like Carrie. You don't. You get to be you, and we're going to help you do that. So our offer tonight, we're going to cover just the details of what we're going to be doing over the next 30 days. I'm going to go through this pretty quick, guys, and we're going to have the Q&A is open there if you want to go ahead and start typing some questions in. In 30 days, your entire business will be complete. You guys who are like, I've never got everything completed, I never got everything up, we're going to have that done. Other thing is, you're not going to be alone. These things are going to be live. There's going to be Q&A. We've got a bonus coaching element I'm going to get to in just a second. It's going to help you as well. This class begins March 5th. On March the 5th, that's Monday, we're going to find your perfect niche. We're going to help you with website creation. We're going to help you get started with your autoresponder and make it hot. All of that we're going to be covering live. And then there's going to be other sessions during the week at your convenience where we're going to be hosting, or actually I'll probably be doing most of the hosting on these. It'll be Tech and Ours. We'll be covering all of the technology elements. And you're going to have a recording of all this. So that's what we're hitting March 5th. March the 12th, product creation, sexy squeeze page making, sales sites. It's going to be awesome. I mean, we're going to make everything just look great. We're going to help you create just a great, great product. March 19th, getting paid. Make sure everybody can check out, making sure that people can become your affiliate. And we're also going to help you find the best affiliate products for your offers, for your model, for your market. March 26th, the Impact Blog, traffic systems, and social media. So we're definitely going to be covering a lot, but everything's going to be sequential. Everything is going to be recorded, and you're going to be able to go back and rewatch as much as you want, but we're going to be pushing you. We're going to have an assignment every single week, or assignments, so that you've got to get these things done. Our goal is that in 30 days, you get this done, and you're going to be rocking. We're also going to have coaching. What?
Well, I was just going to interrupt.
Yeah.
I really, had a couple of questions already. One, are these going to be recorded? Two, what format are they going to be? But before we go into that, yes, they are going to be recorded. Yes, they're going to be visual and looking over our shoulders just like this. Yes, they're going to be fast-paced and just like step 1, 2, 3 and very drilled down. But the other thing I want to ask you, just really authentically ask you, is have you learned a lot tonight? Have you already learned a lot tonight just in the overview? Have you already seen some problem areas? Have you already established some trust and belief that we know what we're talking about? Have you already said, holy smokes, in 30 days, if I really had somebody kicking my tail and holding my hand, I'll let you guess which one of us is going to do which. If I really had somebody holding me accountable for that 30 days, what could I accomplish? Are you really ready, to come out of the jungle, wandering around in the jungle and have some results? That's what this is about. So if you liked this tonight, if you learned from this tonight, if you've got some action steps from tonight, you can just blow that up on steroids and know that this is going to be an amazing 30 days. And the other promise I made you is that whether you decide to move forward with us in another class or not, you have stuff from tonight you can implement right now. And I know you'll agree with that. I'm confident in our content, and I know you'll agree with that. This is going to change the way you do business. What I'm asking you is don't bail from the webinar right now. I want you to follow through. First of all, you need to watch how we're doing this so you can model after this when you're teaching and moving into an offer on your own list. You also need to see if it answers any questions that you have. The other thing, some of you may already have a squeeze page up, or you may already have a product created, but do you have the whole architecture? Do you have it start to finish? Do you have the feedback? And we are adding in some coaching and feedback modules too. The Tech and Ours was the most popular thing last time we did this, honestly. People would show up and say, oh, I'm stuck on this part of my tech. Paul would literally pull up his computer screen and we would walk through it with him. He would show you. It would be recorded. You would have the replay. So I just wanted to interject some of those things. But yes, every session will be recorded. So if you have to miss one, or if it's at a time that's not great for you, you'll have the recording. You have Paul and I in your pocket. You got like these success coaches in your pocket on replay in case we go too far for you over and over. What we heard last time we went through this was, I've made more progress in the last 2 weeks than I've made in the past 5 years buying every information product out there. So, I really am excited about this class. I always am excited, but the fact is, it's a great 30 days. There's nothing else out there like it that I've seen.
What I love so much about it is getting to see people really make those success steps, saying, this is the first time I made it all the way through. And you're right. It was Marilyn who said, I did more in 2 weeks than in the past 5 years because there were so many distractions, so scattered. And another element that we're adding is the coaching. When you check out and you get to the download page, there's going to be an email there, personal email, where you get to turn in your questions. So you're not going to be going through this alone. You're not simply going to be watching videos and not having any interaction. I'm so sick of those products. We see them all the time. It's highly interactive, but not just interactive on our Monday meetings. It's interactive through the week. You'll also be downloading the Online Profit Explosion. This is from Carrie. It's already there on the download page. Audio and interactive guide and worksheets. Tell us just a bit about that, Carrie.
Well, that's something they can actually download tonight, go through tonight, and be super excited about tomorrow. It's one of my most popular audios. It's a really interactive worksheet about fleshing out their model, fleshing out what they're good at, fleshing out what might be profitable, and how they need to move forward with it. It's just me. Paul's not on that. It's audio, and it has the downloadable thing. It's instantly available, so literally within 10 minutes you could have that and be working through it. It's one of the most popular downloads. I don't even sell it anymore. I only offer it as part of this class. But it's the thing I get the most unsolicited testimonials about is the online profit explosion.
Love it. We also have weekly bonuses. I'm not listing all of those, but every week we have additional bonuses. Sometimes we've got a lot that are already planned out, and then other times just during the discussion, we're reminded of some product that we have that maybe we did 6 months ago, and we go, hey guys, this will be really helpful to you, and we give it to you. As already mentioned, the weekly Techinars, it's going to be a webinar room. We'll actually do it on Adobe Connect. Everything will be live. You just ask a question. Paul, I'm hung up on this. I can't get X, Y, and Z to work. We work right through it. You get your technology issue taken care of. This is going to begin on Monday, March the 5th. Every step will be recorded immediately after every class. The recordings we placed on the download page, they'll be live instantly for you to go back and rewatch. Now, of course, everybody always wants to know the price. It's not going to be 41 grand like you could have spent with the gurus last year.
Phew, I was going to ask for a payment plan.
It's not $19.97, which is the favorite going rate right now. We see that everywhere, $19.97. It's not even going to be $14.97. Pretty awesome. But it is going to be $9.97 for the full month with coaching, Techinars, everything on the planet. You can go to DIY Marketing Success. Ooh, I misspelled that right there. 2 C's. DIY Marketing, S-U-C-C.
Anybody can make money online.
E-S-S. I think the last page is probably the bottom one spelled right, but that's probably about it. So make sure you put that extra C in there. I'm lucky I even caught it. Or we got a 3-pay of $3.97. Also, we got some fast action bonuses, 2 past DIY sessions, and this is also on the download page. You'll just email me. Email marketing, product creation, and, you know, Carrie, I don't actually know because we're on GoToWebinar. I'm going to push through this pretty quick, and we can stop on the final screen and talk about these some more if we want to, because I know that we had an hour and a half. I just don't know if it keeps going like Adobe does.
You know, I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So this fast action bonus is really cool. We're going to do Open Line Saturday this Saturday. So this is the event before the event. We're going to go over business models, brainstorm, take Open Line Q&A this Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now, this is a fast action bonus so that if you order before this time on Saturday, then you get in live. After that, you know, obviously it's too late. So the bottom one on this page is spelled correctly, DIYMarketingSuccess.com/enroll. I must have looked at these screens 1,000 times. DIYMarketingSuccess.com/enroll. Put any questions in that you have. Well,
here's what I want to add is that last time we did this, Paul, time we did this, it was $14.97, and we sold out in 7 days.
Right, we did.
So we have reduced the price so we could work with more people. We worked with 60 people last time. This time we'd like to work with 100 people, getting you online. The testimonials from last time were phenomenal. It was a great time. You really do get a lot of Paul and I more, you know, than anybody else gets these days, pretty much. And we did this once last year. This will probably be the only time we do this year. If we do another course, it will be a really advanced one. Somebody already asked me, Paul, you know, what about the $97 a month one that you do? Let me explain that. Remember earlier I talked to you about the difference between a strategy and a tactic. Our DIYs that are monthly are tactical webinars. They are assuming you have your foundation already built. They are typically on one tactic. So we might do video marketing 1 month. We might do webinar marketing 1 month. We might do search engine optimization and keywords 1 month. Those are 97 at a time. They're 3-hour webinars. They're just one-offs. It's not a membership or anything. So yes, we still have those, but those are not foundational architecture webinars. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, totally different, guys. Some of you guys have already been on our DIY Marketing Success monthly program that we do. And that's more of a little bit of a deep dive. We still do some of the technology aspects as well, but this is a start to finish, complete program, coaching included. All your questions get answered. So, it's definitely something that takes you to the finish line with a complete business.
Did you cut off?
No, I'm here.
Oh,
I just stopped talking.
You did just stop talking. What in the world? Okay, do we have any questions? I don't see any questions. I just had questions about replays, which we've answered. We will have replays. We will have Q&A at the end of the sessions. We will have live chat, and we'll be in the format that some of you guys have seen us in before. We will be interactive faces on the camera, more like CNN-ish. We'll have, you looking over our screens. We'll have downloads. The bonuses are downloadable every month. Oh, we do have a guarantee. Did you talk about the guarantee?
I did not.
Okay, why don't you talk about the guarantee, because I know some folks are wondering. I guarantee that we're going to have fun.
I guarantee that if you follow the steps, you will have a completed business in 30 days.
If you follow the complete, if you do it.
Yeah, if you do it. It is not magic. And you think about it. I mean, there's so many folks that I talk to that have been close so many times, but are missing 2 or 3 of the elements. They're not staying focused. They're not really getting and being pushed all the way to the end because they're trying to do it all themselves. They're out there trying to find solutions. They're watching all these videos on Google, all of those conflict, and have different pieces of advice. And they're finding that things just aren't working the way that everybody says. Even if they watch a video that's trying to teach them how to put up a squeeze page, they watch it and they're still not able to complete those steps because they don't have somebody right there with them saying, oh, I saw what you did wrong. Oh, yeah, that's what you need to do. That's how you need to change that. All right, that's what you need to do differently. And that's a big advantage of DIY. Actually, when you think about it overall, I know that my coaching is $1,000 a month. Carrie's is either that or even more. And, when you look at that and all of this content you get on top of the coaching, it's just an unbelievable deal, especially when you can go out there and buy a $2,000 product in which there's no contact and you get just a handful of videos.
I did have one of my coaching clients ask, what's the difference between this and the coaching she's doing with me? The difference is that I'm not taking you through a set curriculum in our coaching. It's very question and answer driven based on what you're going through right now. What I can say is that going through this, which is very strategic and putting up your platform and all those kind of things, augmented with personal coaching will be amazing. But if you have questions about your infrastructure, you and I can talk about in your coaching. If you want to shoot me some questions about that to your personal coaching email, you can go ahead and ask me there. Good question.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so Greg says we didn't see his question on the webinar. No, I don't see, it's not popping up for me, Greg. Do you see a question from Greg Hickman on the webinar?
I don't.
Okay, so Greg, why don't you ask me Twitter, either DM or just out on the stream, if you don't mind putting it out there, especially if you think, oh, here it goes. Okay, yeah, he says regarding lists and the ability to reach out and touch somebody, I think you need to touch on how you talk to that list, frequency, strategy, etc. We absolutely will. That's part of the curriculum. That's not something we had a lot of time to touch on tonight, but yeah, we'll talk about consistency and frequency and personality and all those things, and also the tools to do that with, Greg. Thanks. Okay, any more questions? I don't know why that didn't show up on the GoToWebinar.
Yeah, and on mine,
you know what, I do also have to say, I cannot create your content for you. I cannot create an expertise for you. You need to bring a skill or an expertise to the table, which is why I wanted you to walk through what model you were looking at and what your market is a little bit tonight. If you're still a little unsure of that, when you enroll, that Online Profit Explosion will walk you through a lot of niche development steps, like how you know if your market is viable, where you find them, and all those sort of things. So, you know, I don't want you just to show up for class and think I'm going to be your Carrie godmother and I'm going to create your niche for you. You like that? One of my clients called me that this week, and I thought I've been waiting to use it. Did I rush it? I thought I rushed it. Maybe. Anyway, so I can't be your Carrie godmother. You do have to come to the table with a skill, with some knowledge, with something, but we can help you build a platform for it but you have to know something before we can do something, if that makes sense. Okay, any other questions? Paul, do you see any questions? Oh, this says, wait, I just saw a question pop up in tweet chat.
All right.
Oh, when it says, if you do the payment plan, when will the other installments be charged? That's an awesome question. They are 30-day installments, not 2 weeks. We could do a payment every week if you like, but the fact is we thought you'd want to wait until the other credit card, comes. So we do 30-day payments on that.
Right.
Okay. So that's a great question. Thanks so much. All right, I was going to go over here and just welcome some of our new folks that are already in, that are already taking action. If you want to go ahead and keep the conversation going, think you can manage that? Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, me and interaction. Actually, what I'm going to need to do so that I can click these things is pull out of this. Right, just like that. All right. So DIY Marketing Success, SUCCESS.com/enroll to get started. And now I can actually look at my question board here.
Love it. You do save $194 when you pay in full for the first one. Now, I do want to go back a couple of slides. I don't know if you have the ability to do that, but can you go back a couple of slides to the fast action bonuses, because I think those are important. And we're not going to belabor this, but I had a couple of people that I know are wondering, and they're going to ask me in coaching, they're wondering why we're not putting up a sales page, why we're putting up an order page. When you do event selling, when you do live selling and you're going over the offer line by line by line, I hope you're taking notes on this, by the way, line by line by line, there's no need to push people to a sales page where they have to read all the details again right then. You've just gone over all the details. What you're doing is sending them to a page so they can talk themselves out of it. So, my sales advice to you is when you do a live event selling, you push them to the order page, especially if you're being very thorough in your offer. Now, you will also have your more analytical personalities that want to think about it and look at it again. So then the next day you can send out the sales page if you want to. But I always suggest from the live event, you go straight to the order page. You guys either know if you need this or you know if you don't need this. You know you want this or you know you don't want this. You've seen the guarantee. You've seen the content. You've experienced our content tonight. You've experienced our character tonight. You've seen our testimonials. You've seen the social proof. And it's just a matter of if you're going to trust yourself enough to move forward with this. They're recorded. The bonuses are just outright ridiculous. Honestly, ridiculous. This is not a binder you get shipped to you and then you have to just handle it on your own. There's coaching throughout. There's tech and R's. Those are worth their weight in gold. Absolutely. You have Paul and I in your pocket for 30 days, but are you willing to invest 30 days in yourself? It's not even a matter of the tuition. Are you investing the time in yourself? Are you willing to believe in yourself for 30 days? Are you willing to hold yourself accountable for 30 days? And if the answer is no, then we can't help you and nobody can help you. If you're not going to invest 30 days in yourself, then that's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings, because if you don't look good, I don't look good. So I don't want you to show up and then say it didn't work for me, because the truth is you're going to quit before the 30 days. So I hate to be harsh from the gate, but I really want to work with people that want to work with us. I really want to work with people who are serious about what they want to do. I really want to work with people that believe in their mission, their message, and their market enough. They want to take it out there and play it a little bigger and play it a little profitable. Your family deserves it. Your shareholders deserve it. And like Grant Cardone says, you have a responsibility and a duty to be successful in that endeavor. Now, Namescheap wants to know, if everything is followed exactly, how long will it take to see a profit ROI? I can't answer that, Namescheap. I can say you're going to have a product up and I can say you're going to have traffic, but the fact is I don't know your market. I don't know your price point. I don't know what product you're going to develop. If you have a $9.97 product, you just have to sell one. If you're going to have a $9.97 product, you're going to have to sell more. If you're going to work a little slower, or if you're going to have a market that's not as enthusiastic to spend, or, it depends on a lot of factors. So my goal would be for you to be profitable when you walk out the door. But all I can guarantee is that you're going to be up and running when you go out the door. I can't guarantee you profit. That would be silly. That would be illegal for me to say that. But I can guarantee that you'll have a product created, that you'll have it attached to your shopping cart, and that you'll have traffic going to it.
This is a live event. Okay. I hear you now. You totally cut out. Did you not hear me at all?
I know. I wasn't hearing you either.
Okay. Well,
So,
one of us cut out. I don't know which one it was.
okay, I don't know. So I can't make income guarantees, but I can make results guarantees in that your business will be set up, having traffic, and have an offer. So that's what I can guarantee there.
Cool. There were a lot of questions, I think, that came in maybe that you weren't able to see, so I'm kind of scrolling through those now. Do you have prior participants that are having above average success and profit? Let us talk to them first. Like I think about people like Ann and like Marilyn and some others that have been through this system already, but I want to make sure that I'm sure they wouldn't really mind us sharing that, but we'll send that out in an email, David, so appreciate that. Let's see what else. That question was put in just a lot of times because I think that and this is good. Say my name if you're live. Melton. Hey, Melton. We were live.
We are live. We are not
I didn't even
pre-recorded.
think about that.
How would I be tweeting at the same time responding to what people are saying if this was pre-recorded? I'm good, brother, but I'm not that good.
You were unbelievable. My business partner's in Memphis. I'm in San Diego. Can we sign up together, or do we need to do it individually for twice the cost?
That's an interesting question. Paul and I will have to talk about that. My initial instinct is to say that it's one participant because we've tried to do partner participants before, and then the fact is because they couldn't afford it individually, they ended up dropping out anyway. I hate to be harsh, but I mean, that's what happened. Let us talk about that, and we'll get back to you.
All right, let me see what else through here. When does the class end? How often are the live sessions? That's every Monday, at least for around an hour and a half or 2 hours each time, plus all the things that we're going to be doing during the week. And class ends at the end of March. It'll actually run into April just a little bit as it extends into that next month.
Woohoo! I'm excited. Congratulations to those of you that have already come in the doors. I am super excited about working with you. I don't have permission to say your name out loud, but you know who you are. Welcome. Some of you are former clients. Somebody asked about if some of our clients are having above average success. FTC regulations say that we have to say things like, there are no typical results. There are no average results. We can't be responsible for results. What we can say is, we can guarantee you will be online. We can't make income promises. We can't say above average or any of those, because the truth is, who's to say that Paul's numbers are not considered below average compared to somebody that's making more than him? That result floats, and it would just be irresponsible of us to answer that question. I can't guarantee you're going to make a ton of money. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't guarantee if you get skinnier that you're going to be cute. I can't guarantee that if you find the man of your dreams, it's going to be a good dream. I can't make those kind of promises. That's all I can say is we guarantee that the system will be up. You're going to be responsible for if people like you, if people like your content, if people are drawn to it. Got anything to add to that, brother?
I think that's dead on. I think you said you wanted to go back to these fast action bonuses right here.
Yeah, just real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. I know some of you, there comes another one. Welcome aboard. We look forward to working with you. Woohoo! Love it. And when you register now, you get the fast action bonuses. Okay, so fast action bonuses are you get 2 past DIY sessions. What does that mean? It means these were $97 a piece. They're now $147 because after the early enrollment period, they go up to $150. So basically, you're getting $300 worth of gift certificates for a past session we've done. The ones that are not on there but are still eligible would be video marketing, LinkedIn marketing, squeeze page creation. I'm looking to see if there's any other ones you missed, but we did email marketing, product creation. These are just really drilled down 3.5 to 4 hour webinars with handouts and bonuses. You get these free. So this is $300 of extra product you get as a fast action bonus when you enroll in the next 48 hours. So that would be 48 hours from now would be by Saturday night. Correct, Paul? Saturday night. Okay, the next one is what? Flip to the next one. The next fast action bonus, and this is because we want to work with decision makers. One of the 4 pillars of profitability that I teach to be successful in business is to be decisive. You have to be decisive. I can't make decisions for you by guaranteeing you're going to make $1,000 your first month or $1,000 your first week. You just need to decide you're going to make it work. You need to decide your back is either up against the wall or you just want it. And I'm not being harsh. If you can't afford it, I get it. If you can't do it for whatever reason, I get it. But don't make it because I can't make promises. That's not fair. We don't promise the people in college. We don't make the people in college promise us that we're going to have a job when we get out before we enroll, right? So the other fast action bonus is on Saturday, this Saturday, we're going to do an open line Q&A, fast start call. I'm going to go into the biz model really specifically, really drill down with you. We're going to open line brainstorm on those. So if Kelly wants to say, hey, what about this biz model? I've already kind of doing this. Would you recommend I do this? We're going to do that. We're going to brainstorm some niches. We're going to take open line Q&A, 10 a.m. Central on Saturday. Again, if you can't be there, you'll be sent the link. You can ask your question on the panel. It will be on the recording when you get the replay. Everything we do is recorded. You have access to every replay, every download, everything that we do. So if your schedule conflicts, it's okay. So those two bonuses expire within 48 hours. And actually that open line Saturday call, you need to actually act before that, or, it kind of defeats the purpose of asking questions. So, all right, we do have a payment plan. There's a single pay and then there's the 3 pay. We wanted to make it a little easier for you. But basically, that's the plan. That's the content we're going to do. It's 30 days. It's going to be pretty intense for 30 days. If you have a job, you can still do this. There are replays. There's going to be after hours work. We'll keep you up to speed with emails. It can be done. Doug, the webinars on Mondays are going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern. Again, they'll be replayed immediately. They'll be, recorded and replayed. They will be on a faster replay than this replay. They will be an instant streaming replay, as a matter of fact. Those will be on Saturday. Any calls or tech-and-Rs we do on Saturday tend to be at 10 a.m. Central. Any bonus Q&As that we happen to do along the way, if we feel like we need an extra one, tend to be on Thursday nights. So, that's just if anybody gets stuck or if we feel like we need to throw in an extra session. I probably shouldn't have spilled the beans on that so early. That makes us look like pushovers, doesn't it? All right, so any more questions? Welcome to those of you that have already made that decision. Some of you I know are still thinking about it. That's totally fine. That's totally cool. Hey, regardless, I am glad you were here. I hope you learned something. I would love for you to leave us some feedback on Twitter about something you learned, some aha moment, some yippee-ki-yay, some clarity you got, or you can leave it on my Facebook page, which is Barefoot Executive. If you go to the fan page at Barefoot Executive, you can also leave it there. Pick your medium of choice. Paul, you have anything you want to leave as a challenge or an encouragement or anything else?
The bottom line is that if you were one of the ones who said, you know what, I've never completed it, I've never gotten done, this is your chance to get it done, to make the commitment to yourself and to say that I am going to do it. I'm going to finish. I'm going to have my business up and running. If you were one of the percentage, I think it was 58% that said, you know what, I'm out here trying to do it alone, you're not going to have to. So that's just the bottom line. That's what I love about this program, is that it is live. You are getting to ask questions. There is interaction. Their excuses are gone, and you just get it done.
Success is not an accident.
And progress is on purpose.
Brother, this is fun. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight.
Enjoyed it.
All right, everybody, we love y'all. We mean it, and we look forward to working with you. We will see you later. Good night, everybody.
Good night.